My name is Madeline Thompson. I'm 31 and I was born and raised here, left for 7 years and been back for 2. Both my partner and I both wanted to come back here because of our family and friends really staying here or always kind of orbiting back here at some point or another. And it was the nature, the being close to the water, being close to our social and our just support systems. Leaving here is something you take for granted and then you realize how beautiful it is and then you do want to come back. So I am a clinical mental health counselor associate. I just finished school in Seattle. So now I'm awaiting licensure. And when I get that licensure, I will be working as a counselor at Green Mountain Psychology. I go practice here.
How about your partner?
He is a prosecutor at the Whatcom County Prosecution Office. Currently, we live in an apartment here downtown, in a little 2-bedroom apartment that is very central and walkable to our current jobs, which has been one of those great conveniences. We want to eventually have kids, so the idea of having a bigger space, a space that has, a yard or a neighborhood or even just like non-shared walls is is definitely on the trajectory and also feels really impossible. So it's one of those things where we tread the line going like, okay, I'm 31, I want to have kids. I definitely have to really think about that in a timeline way. We both went to grad school, so it took us a long time to get established in our careers. It's been a little bit of a depressing reality check. We're both people in good careers that are going to be making not terrible money, and we've worked hard to establish that. But yeah, we have loans and we have student debt, and rent is really high. And there's tons of like new apartment buildings all the time and not a lot of houses that are available. I'm not like desolate. I'm young. There's still time. It'd be great if in 10 years I could be somewhere. But I would have hoped it could have been sooner. So I definitely have like my own reality acceptance around renting for at least another decade, probably. I have another friend who I went to internship who's 38, 39, and she's accepted that she's going to rent until she dies. Most of the people my age report feeling just like they're in their 20s and just making it day by day and not really even thinking about that because it's so beyond what they're capable of right now. We've talked about it a lot. We don't want to. I don't want to go. Like, this is where I want it to be. There's all these negative things are so temped down by the fact that I want to be here and that I like being able to walk outside and go to Boulevard and like be here in Bellingham with my family, see my mom for dinner once a week. Like, these are things that I've wanted for so long. So the idea of just going, we might just have to bail feels like, oh man, a step back from where the direction we want to go. And sometimes I've been talking with my partner, and the most realistic thing is like looking at jobs that just pay more that are in Snohomish County. Talking about like building a community. I don't want a house that's like an hour and a half away from my family. It's definitely like on the table as much as we don't love that it's there. It's interesting where in my work and in my internship, I was speaking with my clients. The general acceptance is really day by day. There isn't really a lot of future planning. I don't see a lot of people being really hopeful for the future right now. It's like a generational vibe in my anecdotal sample size. Something I've noticed in myself, like asking these questions about housing, where do I want to be next year? Like, these are questions that like actually are hard for myself to answer because there's so many variables I can't account for. And I don't have a lot of faith in the stability of things. And I definitely have noticed that in different conversations I've had with people. So it's like just kind of a general non-planning. Also posts on the internet. People like, hey, I'm 49 and I have no retirement. I have $900 in my checking account. Like, what's going to happen to me? Like, I don't know. You have more money than me right now. So I'm jealous. But like, right, it's just, I don't know. So I've gone to kind of a grim, almost go with the flow acceptance around these sorts of things that I've definitely seen be very kind of nihilistic and not really wanting to look at a bigger picture because it's a little hard to look at. I would love a house, small house, anything, some sort of ownership. Hell, I'd take a condo. There's something about that I just think is important for the direction I want, and to have kids. I want to have children, and have them be in a place that they know is going to be their home and not something that is going to be moved around. And I had the lovely privilege of growing up in a house that was my whole childhood. And that was so lovely to know where home was. And so I'd love to provide that for my kids. There was a little article that went around amongst my friend group that was saying Bellingham got rated like the 4th most expensive city to income ratio in the United States. And I didn't for a second doubt that. It certainly feels that way. We're not saving money. This is not a type of scenario we can prep for the future because everything is so expensive. But I feel so defeated because it's almost as if I'm in Seattle. Everyone knows Seattle's really expensive, but there's a lot of jobs. But if everything's so expensive here and there's not as many jobs unless you're very specialized or highly experienced with many, many, many years, it's pretty helpless feeling. Many friends I have live out in the counties or just rent a small apartment with several roommates and fight with them all the time. And so it definitely doesn't feel like that's gonna go anywhere. So I think that increases this feeling of helplessness. I mean, there's a reason people come here, and I want to be protective of those things too. But if being so protective of this beauty means that no one can live here, then I will leave, which is a shame because that is not what I want. Again, I was born here. I want to die here. Like, that was like the goal. I feel unable to do that when I picked a career that has a master's degree that is so stable that I'm going to have work forever in a worst way possible. But, there's something about that should speak to stability and lack of helplessness and trajectory. And same with my partner being a lawyer. There's something about that's stable, work forever, trajectory of anti-helplessness. And yet, we just don't feel it. And it's very saturated into my age group of not having kids, not wanting to do that, not being able to, not feeling like it's not like they don't want to, but more of like they don't feel it's responsible. It's tough. These things go beyond Whatcom County. So Whatcom County is an interesting example of it because it just hasn't quite grown to match the people that want to live here. The people who are living here are really feeling that and feeling a little betrayed, and so they're going. So I want to speak, with a lot of gratitude to the people who are trying to make changes that might be felt in a while, and I hope it matters and it has the impact that they want for the people then. I hope I'm one of them.